Hello again. Here we are doing derivatives of trig functions, but in this video we're going to focus on product rule. So notice that here we have two functions. Notice that we have two functions here, but actually it's just one, but the product rule applies because the first one we have sine of x times cosine of x. That's why we're going to use the product rule. Remember that the product rule is f prime g plus fg prime. Easy way to remember. And so off we go. So we're going to label f of x as our sine of x, and then the derivative of sine is cosine of x. Now, g of x is going to be cosine of x, and g prime, or the derivative of cosine, is negative sine of x. You can barely see that in the end. But notice that this negative is very important. Okay, now that what I have f prime, g prime, I'm going to go ahead and apply that to that formula. So therefore, h prime of x will be f prime. F prime is this one, cosine of x times g is right there, cosine of x, plus f is sine, times g prime is negative sine. Okay, let's distribute this, make it pretty. So cosine squared of x minus, because two negatives make a positive, so sine squared of x. Now, this is nice and pretty, that's mathematically correct, but your professor probably would like to get it simplified some more. And then remember from a couple videos ago, we talked about the derivatives of trig functions, and that was just the basics. So the Pythagorean identity right there, when I have cosine squared minus sine squared, just kidding, it's double angle identity. That negative is always the enemy. But you go, well, how can I rewrite this? Well, you can just simply rewrite as cosine of 2x, because that's the double angle identity. Okay, that's how you fully simplify that. That's how you get full credit for that one question. So f prime x will be cosine of 2x. Now this one will give you full credit right there. So off we go. So f of x will be cosecant, g will be cotangent, f prime, from our handy dandy chart from last video, the derivative of cosecant. The derivative of cosecant is negative cotangent times cosecant. Negative cotangent cosecant. And the derivative of cotangent is negative cosecant squared. Okay. So f prime x, f prime is this whole thing right here. So negative cotangent cosecant, it's times right there, okay? Times g is cotangent, plus f cosecant times the derivative of g, which is negative cosecant squared. Okay, let's combine and simplify this. So here I have cotangent times cotangent, so negative cotangent squared of x, and then cosecant of x minus cosecant cubed of x. Okay. This looks nice. That's mathematically correct, but I just can't help it. But I have to factor out the cosecant. So let's factor out negative cosecant since they're both negatives. So when you're factoring out, now you have cotangent squared, and then you have cosecant squared right there. Again, this is mathematically correct. You'll get it right, but will that give you full credit though? Here's how you get full credit. So I know cosecant is 1 over sine. Let's pick it from here because this is already factored out. So right there. So negative cotangent. Cotangent, you know, it's cosine over sine. So cosine over sine. And because it's squared, we need to square it. Okay. Cosecant is 1 over sine. 1 over sine. And then cosecant, again, 1 over sine. But because this one is cubed, cubed. Okay. What else do we know? We know we need to simplify this. So negative cosine squared of x minus 1 over sine this is sine to the 3rd power. This is also sine to the 3rd power. And we got lucky there because they have the same denominator. So I can just add the numerators. So we're going to keep that denominator right there. Okay. You can choose to leave it like this. If you want to factor out the negative, because the numerator, you have 2 negatives right there, you can, but you don't have to. This right here will give you full credit, which is the same thing as if you factor this negative out, making cosine squared x plus 1 instead of them both being negatives. But either way, that's the same answer. You're not simplifying anything else, you're just factoring out the negative.